Celebrations as 90 Palestinians freed by Israel in Gaza ceasefire deal. Malaysians in Europe must keep abreast of rapidly changing political and economic issues. Hello, good afternoon and salam Malaysia Madani. Thanks for joining us. I'm Daryl Baptist and you're watching World Today. Hundreds of people cheered, chanted and honked car horns as two buses carrying Palestinian prisoners freed from an Israeli jail arrived in the occupied West Bank town of Beitunia. The buses held some of the 90 prisoners released as part of the Gaza ceasefire deal that began Sunday and saw 3 Israeli hostages freed by Hamas. Members of the crowd climbed atop the lead bus and unfurled a Hamas flag. They were joined by others waving the flags of Fatah, Islamic Jihad and several other Palestinian factions, as well as the Palestinian national flag. Inside the bus, a handful of freed female prisoners could be seen smiling and flashing peace signs, while a Red Cross staff member watched on. According to Hamas, the 90 Palestinians set to go free include 69 women and 21 teenage boys. The first phase of the truce in the 15-month-old war between Israel and Hamas took effect following a 3-hour delay, during which Israeli warplanes and artillery pounded the Gaza Strip. Meanwhile, the United Nations said there was a huge amount of work to be done to help Gaza and its residents recover from 15 months of war at the start of the ceasefire on Sunday. Video released by the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, also known as OCHA, shows devastated neighborhoods, piles of rubbish and people precariously living amongst the debris. OCHA's spokesperson, Gloria Lazic, adding that Palestinians and aid agencies need to prepare for thousands of people moving from the south of Gaza back home to the north.
There is big challenges ahead of us. Roads will need to be cleared, shelters need to be set up, and supplies need to flow in. We hope that this will all be possible in the coming weeks, as well as the returns of hundreds of thousands of people from the south to the north.
The ceasefire deal took effect after a nearly 3-hour delay, pausing a war that has brought seismic political change to the Middle East. The deal also symbolizes hope to Gaza's 2.3 million people, many of whom have been displaced several times. Israeli military strikes killed at least 13 people in attacks across the enclave during the delay. No more attacks were reported after it took effect at 11:15 a.m. local time. First aid trucks from the World Food Programme, or WFP, entered Gaza through the Kerem Shalom crossing on Sunday, the first day of the ceasefire. This is following 15 months of war, characterized by intense fighting, destroyed infrastructure, and the total collapse of security and order in Gaza. Speaking in Khan Yunis, Gaza, the WFP country director expressed relief that Sunday's aid deliveries entered safely without any looting. He emphasized the importance of continued safe passage and security for his staff in the coming days to ensure the successful delivery of humanitarian assistance. Palestinians cheered the start of the ceasefire in Deir al-Balah on Sunday as long lines of trucks carrying fuel and aid supplies queued up at the border crossings in the hours before it was due to take effect. The deal requires 600 truckloads of aid to be allowed into Gaza every day of the initial 6-week ceasefire, including 50 carrying fuel. Half of the aid trucks would be delivered to the north, where experts have warned famine is imminent. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim, who is on a two-day working visit to Belgium, attended a gathering in Brussels with Malaysians living in Belgium. The gathering held yesterday was attended by about 200 members of the Malaysian diaspora. During the gathering, Datuk Seri Anwar also advised Malaysians to keep abreast of the rapidly changing political and economic issues in Europe.
Because you are here, you are exposed to a center of Europe. The changes, the phenomenal changes that have taken place, the challenges, the political turmoil, the sentiments, racial or challenges, immigration, the new technology, the concern about environment, the discourse on immigration, and AI. Now, such exposure must be well understood. You have to grasp the issues.
Among those present at the gathering were Malaysia's ambassador to Belgium, Luxembourg and the European Union, or EU, Datuk Muhammad Khalid Abbasi Abdul Razak, and President of the Malaysian Association in Belgium, Sarala Shambulingam. On another matter, Datuk Seri Anwar said Malaysians living abroad must have the same right to vote in elections as those at home. The Prime Minister said he had raised the issue of postal voting for overseas Malaysians with the Election Commission, or EC.
Yeah, this is not the government, it's an independent election commission. But I have also already raised this issue, the Election Commission. I say whatever you do, as an independent commission, you must give opportunity for every single Malaysian the right to vote, okay? And must simplify those, and must be seen to be clearly, totally independent. It need not go even through the embassy. They must have certain mechanisms in place to allow people to come and vote.
Datuk Seri Anwar said this when asked about the difficulties faced by Malaysians abroad during elections in their home country. The 2025 annual meeting of the World Economic Forum, or WEF, a prominent gathering in the Swiss town of Davos, is set to commence today, gathering top global business and political leaders for discussions under the theme Collaboration for the Intelligent Age. The 55th annual meeting of WEF will run through 24th January and is expected to bring together some 3,000 leaders from more than 130 countries. This year's meeting in Davos is taking place against some of the major risks to the global economy, ranging from armed conflicts and extreme weather events to misinformation and disinformation. Armed conflicts is the top risk in 2025, a WEF survey showed, a reminder of the deepening global fragmentation. Nearly 1 in 4 of the more than 900 experts surveyed ranked conflict, including wars and terrorism, as the most severe risk to economic growth for the year ahead. Extreme weather, the number one concern in 2024, was the second-ranked danger. Donald Trump, who is due to be sworn in as the 47th President of the United States later today, will address the meeting virtually on Thursday. At the same time, however, some 300 people, including 2 millionaires, protested in Davos ahead of the gathering of the global elite at the World Economic Forum, or WEF, in the Swiss Alps. Demonstrators carried placards with slogans such as "Tax the rich," "Pay taxes," and "Smash colonial capitalism," blocking the road to the glitzy mountain resort. Among those attending the protest was Austrian-German heiress Marlene Engelhorn, who gave away the bulk of her multi-million euro inheritance to dozens of organizations working on social issues. Many observers have expressed concern about the so-called broligarchy surrounding US President-elect Donald Trump, which includes billionaire Elon Musk. Founded in 1971, the WEF offers a yearly opportunity for hundreds of business executives, politicians, and other leading figures to mingle in the ski resort turned conference center over the course of a week. More than 60 heads of state and government will be among those attending this year. US President-elect Donald Trump told thousands of roaring supporters on Sunday he would impose severe limits on immigration on his first day in office, vowing to swiftly fulfill the central promise of his presidential campaign to a rally inside a packed Washington arena a day before he returns to power. Speaking at a Make America Great Again victory rally at the Capital One Arena, Trump repeated his campaign pledge to launch the largest deportation effort in US history, which would remove millions of immigrants. An operation of that scale, however, would likely take years and be hugely costly.
We're going to do a lot of things. You're going to see something tomorrow. You're going to see executive orders that are going to make you extremely happy. Lots of them. Lots of them. We have to set our country on the proper course. By the time the sun sets tomorrow evening, the invasion of our borders will have come to a halt, and all the illegal border trespassers will in some form or another be on their way back home.
The rally resembled the freewheeling campaign speeches that have been a Trump staple since his first White House run in 2016, with the former and future president delivering a mix of boasts, false claims, and sweeping promises to the delight of the crowd. Meantime, Mexican border cities remain calm on Sunday, a day before Donald Trump's inauguration later today. Trump has pledged tougher border controls and immigration enforcement and to launch a mass deportation operation on his first day as president. In the central western border city of Ciudad Juarez, migrant shelters remained under-occupied, a trend mirrored in many other border cities. However, tension was palpable after migrants, in a bid to evade apprehension, set fire to blankets and mattresses on Saturday at a camp in Chihuahua, the state capital, during a government raid aimed at clearing the site. U.S. authorities fortified the bank of Rio Grande, known in Mexico as Rio Bravo, in the city of Piedras Negras by installing floating buoys on one of the shallowest parts of the river. In the border cities in Ciudad Juarez and Matamoros, drone footage captured the orderly flow of vehicles and pedestrians at these busy checkpoints. On the topic of the U.S. presidency, U.S. President Joe Biden has urged despondent fellow Democrats not to give up hope as he returned to the warm embrace of South Carolina's black church-going community, marking the final day of his presidency on Sunday. At the Royal Missionary Baptist Church in North Charleston, Biden was remembered fondly by political allies and received a standing ovation from church attendees. He made a lifting speech addressing the congregation amid major developments in the waning hours of his presidency, including a long-sought ceasefire and hostage deal in Gaza. Biden alluded the bitter political disappointment following his withdrawal last summer from the race for a second term in office over concerns about his age and performance on the campaign trail. However, he suggested an intention to stay in the public eye after his term ends. South Carolina Democrats rescued Biden's political career in February 2020, delivering him his first presidential primary win and momentum he would sustain through his victory over Trump later that year. Up next, TikTok restoring U.S. service as Trump promises executive order to delay ban.
In 2025, Malaysia proudly leads the ASEAN community into a new era of unity, growth, and opportunity. Together with 10 Southeast Asian nations, Malaysia is driving progress in trade, innovation, sustainability, and tourism. Explore the best of Malaysia, from its stunning landscapes to its rich cultural heritage. Be part of global events, business summits, and exciting festivals throughout the year. Join us in 2025. Discover new connections, celebrate unity, and experience the future of Southeast Asia. ASEAN Malaysia 2025. Together, we rise.
Welcome back. A fresh outbreak of guerrilla violence amid a faltering peace process in conflict-riddled Colombia has left more than 80 people dead in just over 3 days. The latest violence prompted President Gustavo Petro to call off negotiations initiated with the National Liberation Army, or ELN, in his pursuit of total peace. The ELN armed group launched an assault in the northeastern Catatumbo region last Thursday on a rival formation comprised of ex-members of the now defunct FARC guerrilla force, who kept fighting after it disarmed in 2017. Civilians were trapped in the middle, and by Sunday it was estimated that more than 80 people have lost their lives. The last toll Saturday was estimated at 60 people, including 7 ex-FARC combatants in 5 municipalities of the mountainous cocaine-producing region near the border with Venezuela. It was reported that about 24 people had been injured and some 5,000 displaced in the fresh outbreak of violence, and described the resulting humanitarian situation as alarming. The army said more than 5,000 soldiers have been sent to the region to reinforce security. With a force of about 5,800 combatants, the ELN is one of the biggest armed groups still active in Colombia. It has taken part in failed peace negotiations with Colombia's last 5 governments. Exhausted Los Angeles firefighters on Sunday braced for the return of yet more dangerously strong gusts as California's governor slammed hurricane-force winds of misinformation surrounding blazes that have killed nearly 30 people.
I'm frustrated.
Officials announced that the 2 largest fires, which have obliterated almost 16,000 hectares and razed entire neighborhoods of the second biggest U.S. city, were for the first time both more than half contained. But the National Weather Service warned that powerful winds and low humidity would again bring dangerous high-end red flag fire weather conditions from Monday, with gusts up to 130 kilometers per hour potentially returning. Officials were accused of being unprepared at the outbreak of fires this month. Now, 135 fire engines and their crews are pre-positioned to tackle new outbreaks, along with helicopters and bulldozers. Emergency officials on Sunday continued to survey the damage, going house to house with dogs in search of human remains and ramping up the daunting tasks of clearing endless tons of debris. As Los Angeles learns the true scale of the devastation, political bickering has intensified. Donald Trump, set to be sworn in as the U.S. president on Monday, has also sharply criticized Californian officials. TikTok said it was restoring service to users in the United States after the popular video sharing platform went dark in response to a federal ban that U.S. President-elect Donald Trump said he would try to pause by executive order on his first day in office. Trump said earlier on Sunday that he planned to issue the order to give TikTok's China-based parent company more time to find an approved buyer before the popular video sharing platform is subject to a permanent US ban. Trump announced the decision in a post on his Truth Social account on Sunday as millions of TikTok users in the US awoke to discover they could no longer access the TikTok app or platform. Google and Apple removed the app from their digital stores to comply with the federal law that required them to do so if TikTok's parent company ByteDance did not sell its US operation by Sunday. The law, which passed with wide bipartisan support in April due to national security concerns posed by the app's Chinese roots, allowed for steep fines for non-compliance. The company that runs TikTok said in a post on X that Trump's pledge has provided the necessary clarity and assurance to its service providers that they will face no penalties, providing TikTok to over 170 million Americans. Zifei and Nur Izzuddin's epic win secures Malaysia's first India Open title in 15 years. But before that, national track cyclist Muhammad Fadil Muhammad Zonis proved he is nearing his best after emerging as the champion in the men's elite keirin event at the ASEAN Track Series President's Cup yesterday. The 27-year-old clocked a perfect sprint time to win the final of the event at the National Velodrome in Nilai, Negeri Sembilan, defeating South Korean rider Kang Seong-jun, who claimed second place, while Australian rider Sam Gallagher took third place. The victory marks Fadil's first international keirin win since his success at the 2021 UCI Nations Cup in Hong Kong. On Saturday, Fadil also secured a silver medal in the men's elite individual sprint event after finishing behind his teammate Muhammad Ridwan Sarom. However, Muhammad Ridwan did not qualify for the keirin final. Meanwhile, the winning streak for national female cyclists Nurul Izzah Izzati Muhammad Asri in the President's Cup this year ended as she claimed a silver medal in the women's elite keirin event. The gold medal was won by South Korean cyclist Kim Hon, who had lost to Nurul Izzah in the individual sprint event on Saturday, while the talented young rider Nurul Alissa Muhammad Farid took the bronze. And now, on to our national shuttlers, Go Zifei and Nur Izzuddin Rumsani, who etched their names in history last night, securing Malaysia's first men's doubles title at the India Open in 15 years. The world number 2 pair fought through a tough 3-game battle to defeat South Korea's Kim Won-ho and Seo Seung-jae, winning 21-15, 13-21, 21-16 in 52 minutes. Go and Izzuddin, seeded third at the tournament, overcame early pressure and displayed energy to clinch the first set 21-15 in just 15 minutes. However, Kim and Seo mounted a comeback in the second set, capitalizing on the Malaysians' errors to force a decider. In the third set, the pair tightened their play, reducing mistakes and finishing strong to claim the title. The victory at the BWF Super 750 tournament earned the Malaysians $70,300 in prize money, marking a significant achievement for the duo on the international stage. This win follows their successful 2024 season, having already triumphed at the Japan Open, China Open, and Arctic Open, and marks a promising start to their 2025 campaign. The last time a Malaysian men's doubles pair claimed the India Open title was in 2010 with Muhammad Zakri Abdul Latif and Muhammad Fairuzizwan Muhammad Tazari. And now on to some EPL action. Manchester United endured a miserable 3-1 defeat at home by Brighton and Hove Albion on Sunday after visiting winger Yakumbe Minte scored one goal and created another, with the hosts not helped by a howler from goalkeeper Andre Onana. Brighton led inside 5 minutes as Kawaru Mitoma beat the offside trap on the left, and his pass across goal provided a simple finish for the unmarked Minte. Bruno Fernandes netted a penalty for United to level the score 1-1 at half-time. But Brighton then took the lead for the second time on the hour mark when Mitoma stretched at the back post ahead of United defender Nasser Mazraoui to turn in Minte's inviting cross. Brighton then netted a third thanks to Onana's horrendous error that allowed Jorginho Rutter to tap home the loose ball to make the game safe and leave United to dwell on their 10th league defeat of the league campaign, the earliest they have reached double figures since the 1989-1990 campaign. Brighton climbed to 9th place with 34 points, 4 points off the top 4. United are 13th on 26 points from 22 games. Ruben Amorim also made the astonishing admission after the match that his Manchester United flops are the worst team in the club's history. Meanwhile, at Portman Road, Manchester City's Phil Foden scored twice and created another goal in an outstanding first-half display as they hammered Ipswich Town 6-0 early this morning to roar back into the Premier League's top 4. City shook off the shackles of recent poor performances with a superb display of attacking football, and once they got the first goal, there was no way back for their hosts. It came in the 27th minute as Jeremy Doku combined with Kevin De Bruyne, and he in turn worked the ball on for Foden to take a touch before drilling it home to break the deadlock. That trio tormented the Ipswich defence as Mateo Kovacic doubled the lead 3 minutes later. City's perseverance also paid off in the 42nd minute as Foden added his second. There was no let-up after the break as Doku scored 4 minutes into the second half before setting up Erling Haaland to make it 5-0. Substitute James McAtee completed the rout in the 69th minute with a looping header, much to the delight of coach Pep Guardiola, whose side looked to be back to something resembling their best. The comprehensive win moved City to 38 points and into 4th position on goal difference ahead of Newcastle United, but they are still 12 points behind leaders Liverpool. And that concludes today's edition of World Today. In our top story, celebrations as 90 Palestinians freed by Israel in Gaza ceasefire deal. Till then, I'm Daryl Baptist. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Thank you for watching, and I wish you all a smooth and easy week ahead. Goodbye.